Hello and welcome back to my Japan-themed bullet journal. As I mentioned at the very beginning of this series, I really don't care about making my months themed around anything in particular related to the seasons or seasonal holidays. I've been wanting to paint a samurai and a geisha at some point, and somehow I felt like using the color red for May, so this is what happened. I have a few images from reference websites of people dressed as samurai or in samurai armor, but I always felt these looked really complicated, so I decided to paint someone from a movie. And this particular cover of the Rurouni Kenshin trilogy really appealed to me because it has really strong shadows and highlights, and I was hoping this would not be too complex to paint. Rurouni Kenshin is one of my favorite anime, and it has received an adaptation as a live-action movie with actors several years ago, which are fantastic movies as well. Our main character is Kenshin. He used to be an assassin and is now a wandering samurai who tries to help the people that he encounters. Over the course of the series, Kenshin will encounter characters that sort of become his family. The setting of this series is one of my favorite time periods in Japanese history. The story begins in 1878 and it's the 11th year of the Meiji period. Now, the Meiji period is when Japan opened itself to the West and started to modernize the country and import a lot of knowledge from Western countries. So you see a lot of socio-economic changes at this time, which also feature in this series. A reoccurring theme is that Kenshin is still wearing his samurai sword, which is no longer allowed in the Meiji period. If you've watched the movie The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, then you know this time period and a bit about the conflicts between it. Kenshin has a similar setting just a few years after that. As I mentioned, Kenshin used to be an assassin. He fought on one side of the Civil War before the Meiji period began, and we see a number of characters from Kenshin's past making an appearance. But for reasons that I will not spoil here, Kenshin has sworn to never kill again, so he needs to resolve the conflicts that arise from his past in a different manner. His sword still plays a large role in the series because he is using it with an inverted blade, which somehow makes it no longer lethal to use it. The anime is relatively old at this point. It's from the 90s and has 95 episodes, but I like that one a lot. There are also 5 live-action movies at this point, which are very suspenseful, but they can also be a bit gory at times, and I'm kinda squeamish, so I haven't watched all of them. At any rate, if you enjoy anime, manga, or movies set in historic Japan, then I can recommend the Kenshin series. Just a bit about this painting here. I mostly used my granulating watercolors from Holbein, which is a Japanese brand. These paints have really fancy names, and the ones that I mostly used are Lunar Eclipse Red, Daybreak Orange, which does not look orange, it's the dark brown you see here. And the black or grey color is called Rainy Night Moon Black. And on his hands and face, I also used a few paints from my portrait set that I put together a few years ago. I'm really happy with how this one turned out, although you should not look too closely at certain areas. I'm not going to mention them now because then you will look at them, but it looks great, especially from a distance, and I decided not to fuss with it much longer because there was a real risk of overworking it. This entire cover took me around an hour and 20 minutes to paint. May is going to be another busy month, that is why I was hoping for a cover that is quick to paint. I'm a relatively slow painter and I tend to get lost in details, so anything below 2 hours is definitely fast for me. And this is the setup for my month. For my weekly spreads, I'm using a very large design again, where I split each page into quarters. And then I also used a lot of stamps to speed up the process, roughly sticking to my red design that I wanted to do. So this month is not too fancy. I didn't really have that many ideas for designs, but I just needed to get stuff done and get this ready to fill it in. At any rate, thank you for watching. I hope you liked this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.